Seriously, the hell's wrong with you people?
We're bad guys. It's what we do.
All right, let's see what you got, Jeffrey. Let's see what you sent me, brother. I didn't even listen to this shit yet. Looks like a good rock song or something. I had never heard this before. Fuck, it's hot as fuck in here.
Here our soldiers stand from all around the world, waiting in a line to hear the battle cry. All gathered here, victory is near.
The sound will fill the hall, bringing power to us all.
We alone are fighting for metal, that is true. We own the right to live the fight. We're here for all of you. Now swear the blood upon your steel will never dry. Stand and fight together beneath that battle sky. Brothers everywhere, raise your hands into the air. We're warriors, warriors of the world. Like thunder from the sky, sworn to fight and die. We're warriors, warriors of the world. Many stand against us, but they will never win. We said we would return, and here we are again. So bring them all destruction, suffering and pain. We are the hammer of the gods. We are thunder, wind, and rain.
They'll be waiting fear with swords and feeble hands, with dreams to be a king, first one to be a man.
I call them out and charge them all with a life that is a lie. And in their final hour they shall confess before they die. Brothers everywhere, raise your hands into the air. We're warriors, warriors of the world. Like thunder from the sky, sworn to fight and die. We're warriors, warriors of the world.
All right. All right. I never heard that one before, Jeffrey. Oh, we got South Kelly guy. What's going on? All right, let's get this started. What's going on, South Kelly guy?
Just having a great day.
I seen you was able to join us, man. I know when I was talking to you, you said you were just gonna try and make it happen. I'm happy to see you here, man.
Did my best.
Especially Truth, man. And shout out to Truth 31. Thanks for coming through, brother.
Yeah, of course, man.
Always a pleasure, man.
You sent me a link. He's like, yo, you want to come on? I'm like, fuck yeah, man. I'll come on.
Oh, yeah. So, man, hashtag SnyderCut On Digital, everyone. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, blowing up right now.
Yeah, that's what's going on. We got a big trending event. I've been at work most of the day, like probably most of all y'all. You know what I'm saying? And I did as much as I could during my breaks. I did most of the tweeting and shit that I did today, to try and help do my part and everything. And as usual, isn't it strange that every time, that something positive happens, for the movement, the fandom, for the DCEU, for Zack Snyder specifically. We've got, we got the hit pieces that come out of fucking thin air. And it's like we've seen this before now, and it's like at this point I feel like it's kind of getting played out. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I actually put out a tweet yesterday saying, tweet 2 days ago now. It should be 2 days ago now, where I said word for word, where I posted a picture of hashtag Restore Snyderverse trending, and I was like, this is basically the calm before the storm. And then literally 2 days later, this happens. So it's like very predictable at this point.
Unfortunately, I mean, Rolling Stones has already proven themselves to be shady already. They already. So this is not a shock at all. Like, I mean, compared to certain other things they posted, to be honest, this is nothing.
No, exactly. This is actually kind of underwhelming for what we're used to and expecting. Unfortunately, but a lot of people have pointed this out today, and when I was reading this today while I was at work, was that these sources that they're talking about, and them quoting Warner Media and everything, that Warner Media was liquidated essentially like 3-4 months ago, weren't they?
Yeah.
Like they've been So so it's like, so what they just sat on something that was just a tall story, a tall tale anyway for 3-4 months. It was planned by the other side. Same routine, same rundown. Nothing that we haven't seen before. But
it's like fucking Groundhog Day all over again. It's like we're doing this again we're doing it with the whole bot shit. They even Rolling Stone even put out a source says one source called the Snyder Cut unwatchable. I'm like, bro, like we talked about this like 3 years ago or some shit. Like we're doing this again. We're talking about this shit. Like, bro, the movie came out already. We know how good it is. Like what are you doing? Like, what is it? It's like a waste of time.
And the thing is too, like for me, it's like with what they were saying specifically, with the exec saying that that Zach was Lex Luthor incarnate or something, and it's like, dude, and really, like, this is really how low they went. Like, this was really the shocking thing to me, was that they said like they thought Fiona wasn't a real person when she was interviewed at DC Fandom. Like, they literally showed her at DC Fandom.
Yeah, I mean, and I also read some other foul shit that was, you want to talk about bots, okay? Bot profiles or fake burner accounts. You know them burner accounts that come along every once in a while to stir shit up, in the fandom. They comment and they've got fake profile after fake profile, and they just say the most vulgar shit that they can imagine, about Zach or whatever they can do to stir up shit. So I've seen a couple. I'm not going to repeat what they said, but they came at Fiona again underneath this, where they quoted, where they said all this about him. There was comments, somebody on Twitter had it, and a couple of people were retweeting it and putting their own opinions underneath it, I'll say. And there was some vulgar shit on there. And
on Twitter?
On Twitter about Fiona. It wasn't about, it was, same burner account. A lot of these accounts, you'll notice too, Geralt, a lot of these accounts will appear on Geralt's posts when there's 30,000, comments, likes or whatever, and there'll be all these accounts on there commenting. On some of these accounts, I've seen them before, and I've had run-ins with them, and went toe-to-toe back and forth with them, and I just was like, you know what, finally I come to the point where I'm like, it's not worth it. They're just trying to mess with you, just block them, So that's what I do. But one of them though in particular I recognized, and they definitely they make a career out of hating things that people like, instead of finding stuff that they like, that they have passion for, they make a career out of hate, hate following. I know it's crazy, but people are really doing this shit nowadays, But
hate's more popular than liking something. That's just a fact.
Yeah. You know, and because of that too, you know, it's unfortunate too, because like, you know, you used to be able to give good feedback. You know what I'm saying? Like if fans just weren't feeling something, you know, or like, you know, you could voice your opinion with something without getting too nasty, or, you know, you could like or dislike something and you could send a message, you know, in a professional way. And now like they're like, you know, these companies are manipulating this system because too many people are like hate following like all kinds of shit. And they just like, they make this like their job, you know, to go after stuff. So then when there is stuff that genuinely deserves criticism, you know, you can't leave that honest feedback, because essentially they've removed the opportunity for you to give that feedback now because of, you know, people doing this kind of shit, you know, over a long period of time.
But it's funny, man. It's funny because like I'm seeing a lot more positive word of mouth on Twitter for the Snyder Cut. Like, you know, you fucked up with all this shit where you thought like, oh yeah, everybody's gonna go on the hate click against Zack Snyder, but everybody's like, yo, I actually like the Snyder Cut. As a matter of fact, here's my positive article on the movie, and I'm actually in support of Zack Snyder. So I don't know who was behind this, whether it's like John Berg or Jeff Johns, whoever it was.
Someone from the old regime.
Backfired already. Yeah, someone from the old regime, but it's not working anymore. It's like, yo, we saw the movie, we liked it, and we want to see this shit continue. Like, I'm seeing like people who are not like the biggest fans of Zack Snyder is like, yo, I want to see his story continue. So like, this shit backfired quickly.
And really, like, this is really the craziest thing for me that a lot of people haven't really made the connection to yet. Like really think about how Taika Waititi was bashing his own movie with his own VFX. Really think about this. Really think about this real quick. Taika Waititi was on video bashing his own movie, bashing his own VFX crew, and he didn't get any hate for it, or at least he didn't get as much hate as Zach did for this fabricated article that's obviously not telling the truth. Like, really think about that real quick. You have actual proof of a director bashing his own project and live on video, but you're taking the word of mouth of the article that just popped up out of nowhere. Like, really think about that for a second.
Yeah, you know, it's you know, you know, if anybody else, you know, if Zach would have come out and did that, you know, while he's got the studio that just put all this money behind him, you know, back when he was still doing like BVS, Man of Steel era, but, you know, just came out and basically acted like he didn't know what the fuck he was doing, and you know, and just started downing like the quality of his own production, and you know, I get it, you know, on that side, like they're a little more quirky, upbeat, you know, and maybe it was even part of the marketing. I couldn't see how, in my mind, you know, that's baffling, but you know, who knows really? I mean, I guess any kind of talk surrounding the movie is better than no talk surrounding the movie. So, but I just know that it's a very strange approach. And what's crazy to me is you remember when he was talking about, you know, one thing that kind of rubbed me wrong, but I was like, you know what, I'm not going to fall for it. You know, because the guy's probably not even talking about Zack Snyder. When they referenced the director's cut about him talking about them sucking and being over 4 hours long, and it's like sometimes a director needs to be controlled by a studio. I kind of think in his own weird, and I'm not defending him because I don't really care for the guy anymore now. I really don't think that was a direct hit at Zack. I think that basically he's, again, making fun of himself, because if you watch Ragnarok, right, it wasn't my favorite movie, but I will tell you what, it was a hell of a lot more enjoyable than this new one.
Yeah.
So what did they do? Because that movie was so well received, they let him go fucking nuts with this movie. And he's like essentially joking about himself. Like they gave him free reign and he just went freaking nuts. Like, you know what I mean? I kind of feel like that's because of his mannerisms. Like, I kind of feel like that's the kind of approach that, you know, him as a filmmaker, his humor, I kind of feel like that's the way he's marketing himself to sell the movie. Like, this is me. Like, you know, kind of like what he did with Ragnarok. And and it worked. It worked the first time around, and you know the movie is making big money even now. But the critics though and the fans are not. I mean, a lot of the fans are still eating it up, but there is some fans now that are like, and all the critics damn near are like they're shitting on it, like review wise. But you know, I guess lightning doesn't always strike twice.
Yeah, because
like with that kind of tone too, because like Thor, like I don't know how the fuck we went from Thor from 2011 to now. Like it is a completely different. And listen, like I like Chris Hemsworth, but it's like, yo, it's like he's too goofy now. Just rein back in the comedy. Like, don't make him a fucking idiot.
Yeah, and here's the thing. And here's
like,
the thing about Chris Hemsworth too. He is just, if you watch the interviews and really look at him as an actor, speaking about his work that he's doing with Marvel, he's just stoked to be playing Thor, period.
Yeah.
You know, he just wants to continue playing Thor. He's happy that he's playing Thor. He leaves the creative decisions. I mean, it's not up to him anyway, but he's very, you know, okay with leaving the creative decisions and the story and what they're going to do with his character up to the creatives involved. And he's just stoked to be playing the character. So I can't put that on him because I actually do enjoy Chris Hemsworth as an actor. I did enjoy him. You know, it was a little different, but there was like almost, I won't say perfect, but they kind of struck that tone between serious and funny as how, while revamping the character in their own weird way, even though I still had issues with Ragnarok, but with this one, even though same people involved mostly overall, this one went off the damn rails to me all the way around.
Like, I mean, like for me personally, I don't have really any interest in seeing Thor: Love and Thunder, but really, he just like I'm probably gonna see it once it's on Disney Plus, but in terms of actually being very interested in it, really, I don't think I am gonna watch it. But like, like, yeah, but yeah, like, I really don't blame Chris Hemsworth at all. Like you said, I think he's a great actor. It's just that I don't really like the content that they're really kind of giving him lately. Like, to me, if you want to go into the comedy route, like you could, like, I think the best blend of comedy Thor and serious Thor was Avengers Infinity War. I think that was really the perfect blend of comedy and seriousness.
I can agree with that.
I like Infinity War. He was good in that.
I mean, what? I don't know. I mean, Sal, I know it's a little off topic. You know, this is gonna be a dope live stream. I know some of you guys can't stay a long time, but the time you guys did have, especially batdan, I appreciate you guys all being here and everything. But you know, South Cali, I want to hear what's your thoughts. I mean, what do you think about the tonal difference? Like, you know what I'm saying, between, you know, because overall, mostly, you know, we're talking same actors, crew, director, and everything between, you know, for Ragnarok as for Love and Thunder, but yet such a different, in my opinion, again, you know, in my opinion, such a wild shift in tone. Just, you know, that goofy shit was present, but it worked. The way they executed it in Ragnarok, I still have problems with certain things in it. You know, certain, you know, at certain times in the movie, I just didn't hit right. But overall, you know, it was okay. You know, it revamped it for the most part, you know, in a Marvel way. And I've grown to appreciate the diversity in movies. Like, you know, if I want to just go have a popcorn flick, you know, Stage 4 Marvel is like kind of like, you know, what I go see. You know, I can bring the whole family. You know, I get the appeal. You know, but like, you know, this didn't hit like Ragnarok did for me and my family personally. What are your thoughts on it? What do you got to say about that, brother?
Well, first of all, it's good to be here, everybody. Nice to meet you. Nice to meet you, Truth. Never been on a stream with you. I think this is the first time I've been on a stream with you as well, Dan. So it's a pleasure to meet you as well.
Nice to meet you.
In regards to Thor, to be honest, fellas, I don't follow Disney Marvel. I like Marvel, I do, but I don't follow Disney Marvel. So there's a lot of Marvel films, Disney films that I just have not seen.
Hey, I can respect that.
So I'm not here to bash on them. I'm just saying I haven't seen them. So in regards to tone difference, in regards to the tonal difference, if there is one and you guys notice it, I'm sure I'd notice it as well. But
it's really
I just I haven't seen them.
It's really obvious, especially when you go from like Thor 1. I don't know if you've seen it, South Cali guy, but Thor 1 was really kind of like the most like Asgard, and like Thor 1 was pretty much being very Shakespearean. And then if you go to Thor Ragnarok, it's like very comedy-esque. Like it's very comedy-esque. Like it's really kind of like a night and day type of thing. Like especially when you go from Thor 1 to Thor 2 and then Thor 3, it's like a very striking difference.
Well, phase 1 of the MCU is the Paramount phase. It's not till phase 2 is when it becomes Disney.
Right.
Okay.
And even phase 2 though, I don't feel that Disney was really, I believe they were kind of hands off, putting their roots down, and during phase 2, because phase 2 still very much felt like, at least to me, like phase 1. But it was when phase 3 came around that you could really feel and see, that extra, whatever you want to call it, being adapted.
Age of Ultron is kind of, I think that.
Well, yeah.
End of phase 2.
Yeah. It just, and problems are not, back in the day, I used to think that Ultron, compared to the first one, was, inferior in a lot of ways. Some ways I felt like there was improvements on some of the character arcs, in some ways, and trust me, me personally, I do not like that effort, Joss Whedon. But credit where credit is due. An artist, you can be a shitty person and still be talented. Accountability over entertainment. You got to separate, and we say that all the time here: the art from the artist. A lot of ways I felt that was inferior to the first one. There were some things I did like about it more, though. But now, as time goes by, I appreciate that movie a lot more.
Ultron?
I mean, compared to I still like the Russos, but I just like the fact that it in its own way, it had its own story and seriousness that it was trying to tell. And I guess maybe that's because maybe the DC fan inside of me, like I like that more, like grounded, like stick to what you're doing, even if it's not all the way right, like you know what you're doing, and follow through. And I really felt like that connection in the first 2 movies. And you heard there was a huge shift when it went to Infinity War, and honestly, I believe that even with the shift, I believe I liked Infinity War more than Endgame. That's me personally.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, no question. Infinity War was better.
Yeah, Infinity War was way better.
Yeah. Does anybody know right now what was the stats? What were we trending at? Because I'm trying to catch up. I just got home from work like an hour ago. What did we end up
on the SnyderCut Digital?
Yes.
The last I checked, just before I joined, I think it was like we're over 70,000. I think.
Yeah,
nice.
With 75,000 last time I checked.
Osa Fresh says we're at 80,000 now.
Oh wow!
Oh wow! Nice.
See, and you guys, how do I see when I'm on I can do it on my phone, but when I'm on my PC, I have retard moments. I can't never pull up find a way to pull up. Oh wait, right there! Holy shit! I've never seen that on PC where it actually shows me some.
There you go.
Right here, look at. I didn't even do anything. We're at 82,000.1.
That's crazy.
82.1K SnyderCut On Digital, trending in the United States. 82,000.1K.
It's definitely hitting over 100K by the end of the year.
Most definitely. The main thing that I really want to say is that, one of the main things about that article, that hit piece that they released that really kind of grinded my gears the wrong way was when they tried to, I don't know if they necessarily quoted Zack Snyder, but they said that when he was inside of Warner Brothers, supposedly, according to sources, which is, blowing smoke out of my ass, they said that basically Zach told them, that, I will go to social media and destroy you or something like that, talking about Johns and Jeff Johns and John Bird. Okay.
Right.
Now, we all know that, he did, when he made his cut, like, there was no need for their names necessarily, especially John's, to be on his cut of Justice League. So I believe that what they did was they took something that half-ass had merit, but then they added a sense of toxicity. Like we know an inside story that you don't like. And I know that's total bullshit because I've been watching and listening to Zack Snyder very closely along, and I know all of us have for years. Yep. Have you guys ever heard Zack Snyder talk like that? Period.
No, only on Vero when he's talking shit.
The only time I've ever heard or seen Zach be violent is when he was on Stephen Colbert and he said, "Suck it, Warner Brothers." That's the only time I've ever seen him be violent.
Exactly, and that was more of a
comedy,
like a joke, but it was more of like a joke, but it was also like had that hint of, well, I could be serious though. Like it wasn't like a direct hit. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
He just kind of took something the fans were doing and kind of like played into it like playfully. You know what I'm saying? He was like, I never said that, but second Warner Brothers.
But that's the thing too. Like it really, because I actually tweeted out that whole thing. And it was pretty much where I said, I replied to the Stills tweet about it. And what I pretty much said was, that doesn't sound right. Like, that sounds like something I would say. Because the thing is, Zach normally uses Bureau, which for those of you who do use the Bureau normally, it's usually it's really the safest place for you on social media. Like it really is. So it's like, why I don't see Zach saying that, because the thing is because really the only time I can only see, the only thing that I can actually see that Zach actually attacked someone in was when Scott Mendelson was talking about the leaked teaser trailer for DC Fandom, which really, let's be honest, we all would have done the same thing, no matter how nice we are. Like this was really think about it. Like this was Zach's day, his big comeback to DC, and you have this guy who's trying to ruin it by talking about a leaked teaser. So realistically, we all would have jumped in on Scott Mendelson.
Everyone has their breaking point. Everyone.
Yeah. That obviously was his breaking point.
And he was still respectful too. So he wasn't even
and that's what I'm saying. And this is what I'm saying. I guess what I'm saying, a better way to say what piggyback off what I said earlier is basically even when Zach's, and this is one of the things that me, along with a lot of the fans, including probably everybody on this panel, I would assume, one of the things that we respect about the man a lot is even if Zack Snyder is pissed off, the way that he will respond, and it's very rare that he will respond to some bullshit, because normally he just is I'm not even giving you the time of day for that, because he knows better. He knows they want them clicks. They want our views. They know how big we are. They just won't let us know. Okay? And even when he does respond, the way that he chooses his words, he's very, I don't know how to explain
methodical.
it.
Very methodical.
Yeah.
He knows his composure is flat, steady the whole time.
Right. And it reminds me of this one time where, leading up to the release of the Snyder Cut, somebody, the only thing where Zach finally addressed some of the bullshit that was coming at him, because the fans were getting their ass handed to them, because so many people back then, when the movement was smaller, were trying to defend him against what everybody knew was a bullshit article, bullshit, statements. And I can't remember how he worded it, but he came out and he quoted, and I believe that's what you guys were talking about. Was it Mendelsohn about the cut being how long it was, how much money it costed, about him not essentially finishing what was there, but getting a complete do-over to, you know, now that everybody's panned it, oh, now he can learn from his mistakes, and like the cut's not 4 hours. There's no way, you know, that's a what did he say? A rough cut. And finally, like Zach came out, man, unhinged in his own way. For him, he was and he retweeted this dude, and maybe it wasn't Mendelsohn, and he said, no, the assembly cut is what you're talking about. That's nearly, no. And my assembly cut of this film was almost 6.5 to 7 hours long. So, you know, basically and I can't remember what he said exactly after that, but basically his point was like, know what the fuck you're talking about before you start talking out your ass.
Yeah.
And then underneath it, he typed something, and he said basically like, you know, not to respond to negativity, keep fighting the good fight. And then he jumped back to Vero, left that alone for like a month, you know, Twitter completely. And he gets on Twitter, and somebody, I think it was that Jacob Torres guy or whatever his name is, he screenshotted a convo with Zach, and he basically said that, that he has the urge, just like all of us, to go at these people hard and strong when they come out on some straight bullshit. He said, but people that know better than me, mainly my wife, advise me not to. When I think about all that we've accomplished that's good, let's just keep fighting a good fight. And that went around and went viral. And like that was the beginning, mostly, as far as I'm concerned, for the, before the right around the time that like the Us United and everybody started, focusing on the good during that time frame, and just kind of blocking and deleting haters for a while. Now it's been chaos because he's gone from the company. The direction they're going for since the the release of the movie and before the release of the movie, it's just been complete rubbish as far as I'm concerned. And it's just everything that we've known and seen from him. I guess I don't believe for a second that he spoke in the manner that he was quoted on this article. I guess that's my point.
Yeah, because really think about it, can you really see someone? Can you really see Zach saying can you really? I don't see how anyone with a straight face can say straight up, yeah, Zach would say this. He would say, I will destroy you on social media.
Yeah, that sounds like something that some little kid came up with or something. Like somebody that, and then, all right, now I got the perfect thing to bring up right now while we're talking about that. Let's go jump over to Ray Fisher.
Oh yeah.
Oh boy. Here's to that.
Oh man. Oh yep. Cheers to that. So here, hold on. Here we go. So okay. So check this out. So that sounds like somebody who's butthurt, doesn't it? Somebody that would speak like that. It sounds like they have an ill motive, as if anything. And childish. That they have a motive, and it's childish. And that to most people, most of us, all of us probably, that was the first thing, at least in my mind. I'm like, yeah, right. There's no way, like some jackass, typed that, quoted that. I don't know. Ray Fisher comes out and he says, nice try, but you cropped out the part of those emails where, and he Tatiana Siegel, 27, switched deadlines on my team. Trying to spin half-furnished emails into a gotcha will get you nowhere. At Noah Schachman?
I think so.
I don't know how to say that. At Rolling, and then he tagged Rolling Stone. At Rolling Stone, please rein in your employees. Damn! Snapping! This is embarrassing and amateurish. Like, wow. Like, and then he's got it circled and shit.
Yeah, and that's the thing. Like, he's like, people And people say that, and people are saying that Ray doesn't show any evidence or anything. Yet he's showing actual emails and circling where exactly he's talking about.
Yeah, it's just. I mean, I don't understand how people can even, because there is a certain side, a very small percentage, but there is a certain side of the fandom I like to call Walter Hamada Burger bots. And I'm not, I'm not even going to call them bots because that's disrespectful, because I know by the way that they are so vigorous that their insults that they say to me when I tell them to eat a hot sandwich, that I know that they're real people. Yes, maybe they're using a burner account, but I can tell when someone goes back and forth with me for an hour and I read their responses and they're very clever, yet stupid. Yeah. I know a dumb mofo when I know one, when I see one. Yeah. So they're real people, okay? So I'm not going to say bots like these people are, but, they come out and basically anything that's Hamada Burger verse, they basically deride the train. And, and they come out, and I don't know why, but they cannot stand Ray Fisher. They cannot stand Ray Fisher. And it's a very small percentage of people, like very small. And I just don't get it because, these claims early on, I get it, when they were unmerited, when there wasn't much, evidence to go off of early on, except for his word alone. But as years went by and all this truth came out, it's like, where are we at with this shit? Like, facts are facts. Like, you can dislike somebody all you want, but the truth doesn't change what the truth is. Like, the facts you can't change the truth. You can't manipulate the facts. Like, you can, I don't get it. But I want to read this real quick and just see this because because like I said, I was at work. I did not see a lot of this. I seen like glimpses, but this is what Ray Fisher quoted. Tatiana Siegel. He said, "Hi, basically, I don't know, blacked out. It could say Ray Fisher or whatever. I and so and so. I'm writing a story that examines the authenticity of the SnyderCut / Snyderverse fan movement and how the fan base attacked viciously at times a number of people, including Walter Hamada, Jeff Johns, John. Okay, so right here." They start off by telling us we have been hired by sources that are middlemen to Walter Hamada, first one in line, Jeff Johns, second one in line, John Berg, third one in line, and Sarnoff, and it just keeps going on. But right there, the first three, that was real. We already knew that. And just to see this from the actual person that created this article, this is a bag. This is a bag of horseshit. This is L.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. Like even before Ray posted this, we all had that speculation of it's probably Toby Emmerich. Like we had like
no, and what's crazy is they don't like how on the nose this movement and this fandom actually is to the truth. It scares the living shit out of them, and that is why anything that happens, anything that they think would bring us joy, they want to take that from us. But all they do is give us more fire, more passion to fight harder. And and they don't understand it. They really don't. They don't get that they are the reason that this thing blew up as big as it did. They are the reason that as much as they tried to hide this and bury this movie, that it got released because they kept giving the people a reason to fight. Yep. I mean, I don't know. But anyway, listen though. So I'm gonna continue on, skip all the many names. I would like to request a comment from Ray on the following. Sources say they believe that you worked in tandem with Zack Snyder to weaponize the Snyder Cut. To weaponize the SnyderCut fandom. And they say that you did so to help him get what he wanted for Warner Bros. Wait. So how do you respond? If you could get me a response by my deadline tomorrow at 6 p.m., that would be great. Thanks. Best. Tatiana Siegel. So here. Okay, begin forwarded messages. Okay, hold on. Hello.
Oh,
Okay,
wow.
hold on. It says, hello, checking on this last time since 5 p.m. Deadline passed. This story is posting tonight. If I don't get something back from you soon, I will have to say Fisher declined to comment. And this is what Film Junkie was talking about on his video he did yesterday at midnight, because this fucking shit was supposed to drop like
tomorrow.
I can't remember. Right. And it ended up dropping early because the person that scheduled the drop, like to drop it, Ray Fisher, I don't know. He must be in somehow Junkie had third parties that had contact with Fisher. I don't know about Zach. I'm not going to say Zach specifically, but he knew what was going to a degree, what was going on with this. And you can watch. He's got a live stream where it's chopped down into a 12-minute to 15-minute video, right? On Film Junkie Live. And he says, he's sitting there scrolling. He's like, shit. You guys are saying, what happened? Click. And he brings it up. He's like, shit, this wasn't supposed to drop right. Never mind. He's like, damn. And then he just starts talking about it. And he's like, yeah, so, and Film Junkie, I know back in the early days, he got a lot of heat for rolling what everybody said, quote unquote, the 40 Club and all that shit. But you know what? That aside, that's petty. That was early on in the movement. People were just like, hey, don't say nothing negative, period, about the cut, about Zach. That was what the fans' main motive was, because of the fact that there was so many. These hit pieces ain't nothing compared to what they were early on, because I've been at it and in this movement for like since the early days, early on, before the San Diego Comic-Con, what was it, 2019? Maybe before that?
Yeah.
Me and Jeffrey been there a while. I was there even right before Jeffrey to a degree. And my channel mostly is essentially started out as a documentary of a guy that nobody gave a shit about in Flint, just basically saying like, hey, this is what's going on online. Shit was boring. And I ended up making a channel out of it to a degree, believe it or not. But all that's documented. If you scroll back in my channel, every single thing that happened back then, it's just crazy because, the main thing, like I said, I want to pull up the actual article, by Rolling Stones. I really don't want to go over it again, but we haven't done it on the channel. I don't want to give them clicks and views. I know that we've been told this to screenshot it. And the people that have told you guys this are right. When you see bullshit from a mile away, stay away from it. Okay. When you click on it, that's what they want. They want that negative. Like, when they can't get views, they know, I know what I can do. I can say F you to the Snyder Cut in the Snyderverse and the DC fandom, and they'll come rolling in by drones. So they know that'll instantly give them a boost in subscribers or a boost in likes, which will make their shit trend, which will eventually result in a boost in subscribers, or at least that's what they're hoping for. But because we haven't been able to do it, we haven't done it on this channel, I am going to click on it. So I do apologize. My thickness. But
quick thing, I'm starting to get hungry now. I have to get going. Dinner.
Hold on, real quick. Hold on. There we go. Hold on, real quick. Let me stop the screen. All right, I just want to say thank you for coming back, Dan. And I appreciate it. Thank you for hanging in there so long, brother. And next time, anytime you want, you want a link, just hit me up, man. Thank you for coming on to the channel.
Thank you so much for bringing me on. I had a great time.
You too. But it's just hold on. How do I got to get this back on here. But yeah, it's just doing too many things at once. God, you think I'm a fucking astronaut? But But yeah, where's it at? Because, oh Jesus Christ, I am
back on a thickness.
Real hot girl shit. Man, where is Okay, hey Jeffrey, where is or Truth? One of y'all, where is this article that because I went to their main. I don't want to give them clicks, but I'm just trying to pull up the original article that they published. And this is their shit. I guess if I go on to Google me, I could probably find it, but they'll for sure get my click off of there. I guess it doesn't matter at this point because I'm only doing it once and one time only. But because I just want to look at break down some of the details. There we go. Yep, there we go. All right, now let me make. I got to turn the screen. No, it's already on. You retard. So exclusive, fake accounts fueled the Snyder Cut online. You know, and here's what's so fucking retarded to me. Okay, they just tried this approach with the fucking Emmy that it won.
The Academy.
Oh, the Oscar?
The Academy. Sorry, the Oscar.
Yeah.
Sorry. They just tried this with the Oscar that it won, right?
And they do it again.
Remember? And it came to the point where the Oscars had to come out.
Yeah.
And literally they said, I don't know what you're talking about, but
Yeah, I thought it was old when I first saw the tweet. I thought it was like a rehash because I read the title and I thought to myself, is this old? Like, why is it being pulled again? I thought it was old, so I'd never read it.
right.
But I got like the pieces that people would screenshot and then like
You know
keep
what?
talking shit about it. I was like, oh
yeah.
wow.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, that's basically. Hey, you know what? Hey, that's basically how when I was at work, South Cali guy. That's basically how it came across my attention. To be real with you, but it's just like to me, it's like how desperate do you got to be? When literally, what was it? A month or two ago?
Yeah,
Something like that.
Yeah, 2 months, I think. Yeah,
Like,
2 months.
People bigger than you tried this shit already and got kicked right in the fucking teeth. And you're gonna try and rehash the exact same fucking, you didn't even, and specifically, bots, fake accounts, like that same narrative.
It was Umberto, I think. It was Umberto who did it. I think it was him.
Anyway, Truth, I want to hear a little more from Truth 31, man. It's not often, fellas, that we have him on the channel. And I want to hear more from that's my dog, man. I mean, what do you think, man? I mean, do you think that's just how desperate do you got to be? You know what I'm saying? Like a month or two ago, they just like other people have already went down this route and literally some shit they didn't expect. Like the Academy came out legitimately and kicked these mofos right in the teeth and was like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like, you're full of shit. Like, I mean, how desperate do you got to be after, like, to rehash some shit that was already done a month or two ago and it got destroyed? I mean,
I feel like I'm fucking like Bill Murray and Groundhog Day. It's like are we waking up to the same day over and over again, bro? Again, like to me, like it's the typical thing. It's the typical, just trash the fan base, trash Zack Snyder, get people not to be excited for his work and the Snyderverse and all that nonsense. And it makes me wonder, like, are they doing this because they're scared? It's like, oh shit, Zack Snyder's getting momentum with Rebel Moon. The Zack Snyder Justice League trends #1 everywhere it goes. The fan demand is high, not just from the fan base, from the general audience. Like, this movie's really good. Like, are we going to continue this? So I think they're like, oh shit, like, you know what? Let's try to shut this down, shut down the hype. Like, no. You don't want to encourage all the toxic fan base. This movie really sucks. It's like, no, we saw 2017 Justice League. That movie was horrible. We saw 2021 Zack Snyder Justice League. Like, this shit is good. And for the people that are not aware of this shit, like Zack Snyder Justice League, like, didn't I already see this? Like, no, it's a different movie. It's like, all right, let me check this out. And then when they watch it, like, this isn't what I saw back in 2017. Is this a sequel to that one? It's like, no, it's the original film. So I think now that the general audience are going to be much more aware. Like, all right, like, I want to see more of this. Like, is there going to be a part 2? Like, who is this Zack Snyder? Like, what's this all about? So I think Warner Brothers sees that and they're like, oh shit, like, no, fuck, like, no. We don't want any of this shit again. so I think to me, like, this is a good sign. It's like, oh, they're panicking, they're worried, and they should be because like I said, I think eventually, whether it's 2 years to 3 years down the line, we're gonna get the Snyderverse, whether it's theatrical or on HBO Max, we're gonna get it.
Yeah, exactly. And we all hope that it's theatrical, but honestly, it's more likely to be HBO Max. but we can still hope that it's theatrical. You know, it's a new regime, and you never know what could happen. You know, but at the same time, we got to keep expectations realistic. But you know, it's just, you know, and here's the main thing I want to ask all you guys, because I am not experienced, like, when it comes to like accountability, when it comes to like sources, when it comes to big names like the Rolling Stone. But it's like, isn't there some kind of accountability that you know, that these companies have to have, that these people that work under these companies have to have? Like, you can't just write an article and go after anybody you want, and your source says, you know, a wild you know, is a stray hair out of your asshole because you've had one too many beers. Like,
well, for me, like, what I find interesting is like why the first red flag for me was really like why the Rolling Stone in general. Like,
that's a good question, Jeffrey.
This is the point that I'm gonna make. Like, a lot of people are gonna be blown away by this. Like, really think about this. Like, the Rolling Stone was originally supposed to be making articles on music, yet here they are where a generally music-based news site gets a exclusive for movie news. Like, isn't that kind of odd?
Yeah, like, why not Deadline? Or why not Hollywood Reporter?
Yeah.
Why is it Rolling Stone?
Right? Why the Yeah, exactly. Why the Rolling Stones? You know, and you know, here's where I was going with this. Since the Rolling Stones has published this bullshit, every major trade is running this fucking story now. Have you guys checked?
Yeah. I saw Variety.
So here's my thing. You know, say you're the big shot, right? You're not necessarily the owner, but maybe the big shot at Rolling Stone or one of these big outlets, right? What kind of accountability is held? And nothing. You don't even got to. You know, we can take a step back. We don't even have to associate it with Zack Snyder or the Snyderverse or this fandom or any of that shit. What kind of accountability are they held to? You know, when one person runs a story and the whole fucking thing, like every trade just runs the story and the source is a fucking, you know, a straw man.
Yeah.
There's no source. It's just somebody just saying fucking opinions. And they're just running with it. Like, in every, like, how stupid do all of these trades, major trades and outlets look right now? And it's like, what like, I don't know. I guess my thing is, right. What is nowadays? Back in the day, there was accountability for that kind of shit. Like, you don't make this company look bad, bro. And before you publish some shit, let's see what your source is. Like, we're not just gonna say, you know, drop opinion pieces. You know, and one of the main things about BVS Ultimate Edition I like so much was Perry White's commentary on that shit, because that's how it used to be. This ain't 19. What do you say? This ain't 1950. Whatever. Nickel. Gas don't cost a nickel or some shit like that. You know, basically, like, you know, I can't remember how he put it exactly, but I'm just saying, like, wow, have the times changed, and not for the better. And once all these jackasses that just followed the, you know, we're desperate for clicks and views, that followed the trend, like, basically, essentially,
right?
Figure out, and their bosses figure out that they just ran a bogus ass story with a, you know, a straw hat fucking source. Like, is there going to be any accountability? And how does that work nowadays? Like, because I know that things have changed a lot. Like, I guess that's my question, because I don't know jack shit about it. I was hoping that maybe one of you guys maybe did.
I mean, like, yeah, like, for me, it's like, this is pretty much the equivalent to that Frosty the Snowman announcement that, and I'm using the term loosely here, Frosty the Snowman announcement with Jason Momoa playing Frosty the Snowman. Like, and Jason Momoa shut that down, saying, no, some serious stuff did go down. Like,
right.
Like, it's just crazy how how a completely 100% made up story went to deadline, was written, and then got proofread, and then went into the public. Like that's like imagine that whole process. You're saying like, okay, we gotta get this done. Okay, let's give these to the editors and so that they can proofread it, and then it gets the stamp of approval. Like there's a whole process. Like it got processed into this whole thing, and then put into the public. Like what is that?
I couldn't even tell you, but and here's my thing. Like, I don't understand. Here's I guess the main issue that I have, right? Okay, these big companies, right? These big outlets, news outlets, Variety, Rolling Stone, etc. Like, they all know at this point. I think that it's pretty safe to assume that as big as this thing got when the Snyder Cut released, that everybody knows a general rundown of what was done to Zack Snyder, right? During the production of Justice League, what the family tragedy went through, and then how the company tried to capitalize on his hurt, on a family tragedy, what they did to him, what they did to David Ayer. So it's like, how do these people have the audacity to come out and essentially at every turn, when anything pertaining to him in the DCEU comes up, to take these kind of low blows and say like, oh, he was, talking shit about so-and-so. He went in the studio and was saying that. And who's your source? Oh, a straw hat. Like, how are these bosses even comfortable when they gotta at least know a general rundown? Like letting their employees run this kind of bullshit. Like, the man's been through enough, and I know we've said that before, but it's just like, I just will never get how people are comfortable capitalizing on hating this man, on hating the work he's done, on hating the fandom that raised all this money for AFSP. Given the how it was created was based off the circumstances that were so fucked up that Warner Brothers did. And I don't understand how taking down something that is beautiful and noble, how I don't understand how, when everybody can clearly see what they're doing, how they're still comfortable doing this shit. Other than people inside Warner Brothers, aka the old regime, are pissed because, watch, in a month from now, Walter Hamada has exited.
I fucking hope so.
That's equals. This is why this is happening.
Yeah. Well, yeah. Like for me, I think the problem is a little bit of it is that Zack Snyder right now is more popular than the DC brand.
Oh,
and
yeah.
I think Warner Brothers does not like that. Like, why is this motherfucker more popular than our Black Adam? Because that Black Adam trailer was trash, bro.
Oh, it was. And I'm not saying that the movie's trash at all, because it might be good, but that trailer was fucking garbage, man. That trailer was garbage. Dude, the fucking pre-concept trailer over a year ago they gave us was fire as shit. And then we get a real trailer, and the first real trailer looked like Hamada Burger washed out, walked over, hot garbage, red hot. Never mind.
but yeah, it's like night and day. Like it's pretty much like you see the first teaser trailer, the first DC fandom clip, where it's very dark and very ominous. Like, oh, something is like this is about to get real. And then you go into this year's DC, and then you go to the first trailer, and it's like this hip hop video for some reason.
And I guess part of my problem is when we first, you know what? If you guys don't mind, let me pull up that first teaser trailer, or I don't even know if that's even called that, because I just want to look at the tonal difference, how different. And I'm not saying that this is how this is gonna be, but like let's look at this real quick. I'm typing it in right now.
In regards to like the article, just in general, it gets me to think, honestly, like I don't want to think this and I don't want it to be this, but it's at the same time, the only reason for this article to even exist is just to give Zach and the fans a bad name. That's bottom line, okay? But then at the same time, it makes me think, who would really, like, the only reason this article exists is because someone really wanted it out there. And even though we all know it's that bad, like it's a horrible article. And it just makes me think, who really wanted something like this out there? And the only reason something like this could even be out there is if someone paid to have it be on there. So like there's this article it's crap in so many different ways. but it does make you think, why would someone go to this length just to call a whole bunch of fans bad people who aren't really doing anything other than defending themselves?
Right, and you know that it would have to be somebody with a hell of a motive, because given the circumstances, okay, we have made this thing back in the, a year ago, go so goddamn big. The story of Zach is as big as the damn movie is of what happened, because essentially the general audience needed an explanation that ain't us, that don't follow like that are just casual viewers back in the day. We even had a training event for casual viewers in a sense, to let them know, hey, basically don't believe all this negative PR that Warner Brothers is running, these hit pieces. This is the real story. This is why we give a fuck. This is why we're fighting. Where every dollar that we're raising is being donated for this cause. Here's the fucking receipts, yada, 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 right? Yep. So with that being said, these people know all this, right? So someone that at this point in time, right, that would go as far as to just essentially cast all that aside and take not only taking a shot at the Phantom's one thing, but they took a shot at Zach and tried to quote him, which is some bullshit, and say he was in Warner Brothers tripping, getting gangster on motherfuckers. You know what I'm saying? Basically. So essentially, if you're gonna go that far, given what happened, and knowing that everybody knows that, you gotta have a hell of a motive. So then we bring up Ray Fisher, right? Which we already looked at. What's the first three names that came up? Oh, motherfuckers that ain't got a job there no more?
Well,
motherfuckers that were blocking the Snyder Cut in the first place. It makes perfect sense.
Barely hanging in there, but Toby and Walter are
Hamada is the only one left. Toby's pushing fucking papers behind a desk somewhere, asking somebody, "How do you like your coffee, dark or light, sir?" So he's mad as fuck. Sarnoff is completely gone, and so is the other rest of the clown table. But so my point is, it just speaks to like who would have the motive that would be strong enough to do some shit like this now in this day and age, right now. And it absolutely makes sense. It absolutely gives Ray Fisher's claims more merit, and especially seeing when he screenshotted the person that released this article, the first three things that they said, not Ray, them, the three names they threw out, the first on the list. We already knew that shit. Now we know it for a fact. And you can't get more retarded.
And that's the thing. And that's the thing too. Like I said, like we were probably just speculating at the time that it was just Toby Emmerich and Toby Emmerich, Walter Hamada, and Jeff Johns. We didn't know anything. We were just like, man, this sounds like something they would do. Like, and we were right. Like, we were right, and we didn't know anything at the time.
Exactly. Now, let me jump back into this so I can knock this out real quick, because I was talking about this, guys. I want to look at the first official teaser for Black Adam, right? Yeah. Before it got Hamada burgered, because they're gone, but guess what? They were heavily involved in this movie before they got the boot. So as far as I'm concerned, there's a 50-50. Actually, I'll go as far as to say a 60% chance, 60% chance that this movie is going to be straight watered down bullshit, and Rock is now trying to sell The Rock to salvage this movie. unless heavy reshoots are going on, which maybe some of them are, because we're hearing that Henry Cavill might actually show up with a fucking face this time. Hopefully, maybe the new WBD management, David Zaslav, are like, okay, now we're not gonna, we're not doing that bullshit again.
Would you guys, with that, let me go ahead and run with a quick theory. Would you guys say that maybe, possibly, maybe, who knows? I mean, The Rock is a smart man when he really wants to be. He's a smart man, smart guy. He's a businessman at the end of the day, businessman. So would you guys think it's a possibility that The Rock did the same thing to the WB that Zach did to them, where he filmed 2 versions of it just to say like, oh yeah, see, like I'm doing it the way you want, but in reality, I really filmed what I wanted to film, the dark version. And so basically he showed WB what he wanted, and clearly they made a trailer out of that, but everything that needed to be filmed was filmed, and all they have to do is just edit it the right way.
Right.
And basically when it gets dropped this year, it's literally the dope version that we're all hoping it's going to be, you know?
Right. And maybe they're like, right. And you know what? There is merit to go off that, because David Ayer absolutely did this with Warner Brothers after, because you got to remember, it was 7 months later after BVS released that Suicide Squad was supposed to come out, basically. And the version that we got, David came out way after, obviously, and confirmed that he had filmed the original compromised Ayer cut, and then a theatrical cut, what his version of the theatrical cut. And what they did was they told him, we want this one. We want the theatrical cut. He played ball like a motherfucker in the beginning. Let's be real. And so they took the theatrical cut, but then even then, there was still, plot lines and threads and shit that led to BVS, that led to Justice League, and they didn't like that. At that point, they're like, we're removing Zach one way or the other. We don't like his shit. We want him, the old regime. Yeah. So they took and went behind his back. They took the theatrical bastardized version, but at least it was David Ayer's theatrical bastardized version, And then they went a step further and hired a fucking music video company that cuts trailers to cut the whole goddamn movie.
And ironically, the company was called Trailer Park.
Yeah, that says it all right there. So I guess my point is that this is very possible. Very possible. I don't want to give Rock that, because in my opinion, there's a good part of Rock though that wants to be The Rock. He wants to be the biggest superstar no matter what the fuck he's doing. And I know he says he wants to listen to fans, but I'm still worrisome because the fact that like he, anytime he does a project, like they bend the knee for him creatively to the degree where a movie is no longer a movie. Anytime The Rock's in something, he's playing The Rock. And that's my problem, I guess. I'm not saying he can't have elements of that in whatever he's doing, but they bend it to the point where any movie he does is like, they know it'll make a shit ton of money, so they don't give a fuck. I'm just hoping that he actually is passionate because this, like he says he is, which, for all we know, maybe he is. That, that this movie meant something to him, and the fact that it took him over 8 years? 7 to get it off the ground?
10, I think he said like 10 years.
Yeah.
Holy shit.
He hit it for a minute.
I would hope that he wouldn't just go into this movie on some regular Rock shit. After claiming to have that much passion and fighting for 10 years on and off to get it made, I would hope that at least he has 2 cuts, 1 cut being what he promised at the very least. But with that being said, let's just jump into this real quick because this is what made me want to give this a chance in the beginning.
Yep.
So let me turn this on real quick. Hold on. There we go. Okay.
5,000 years ago, Kahndaq was a melting pot of cultures, wealth, power, and magic. Yet most of us had nothing, except for the chains around our necks. Kahndaq needed a hero. Instead, they got me.
That's what I'm talking about.
I did what needed to be done, and they imprisoned me for it.
Look at that.
Now, 5,000 years later, I'm free. And I give you my word. No one will ever stop me again.
That you feel me? You feel me? That sold the movie for me. I'm like shit. They throw in one reference to the Snyderverse. One, I don't care if it's a throwaway line. With that being the fucking plot of the story, and if they're sticking to that tone, I'm down. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
That is not The Rock being The Rock. That's a real fucking story being told there. Creatives involved. You know what I'm saying? That's a man with passion that's waited 10 years to get this off the ground. And look at the imagery that they chose, even though it's like animated concept art, basically, as far as I'm concerned. Like, you know what I'm saying? Now, that I had high hopes ever since then for it. But now, let's look at what was released under the reign of the Clown Table. Look at the difference. Look at how big of a difference between that and this. And of course, you can still see elements in this of the original. But look at the difference. This reminds me of the Ayer cut theatrical version that we got. The difference between, you know, the real cut and what we're going to get. And I hope that this is not what we're going to get.
Black Adam, what have your powers ever given to you?
Deadpool vibes immediately. I don't like that. This is exactly what they fucking tried to do to the Ayer cut. They tried to, and David Ayer quoted, he said, between Deadpool, they tried to hit a tone with the words being used between Deadpool and Guardians of the fucking Galaxy. Right away, we have someone narrating him, having him on a table. It looks like almost experimenting on him.
Nothing but heartache.
And the bad guy trying to talk sense into him.
I was a slave until I died.
Now it's feel bad for me and not like I'm going to fuck everybody up.
Then I was reborn a god. My son sacrificed his life to save me.
More sympathy. That wasn't in the original one.
Over fire!
Now, I kneel before no one.
War going on outside we ain't safe from.
In this world, there are heroes.
I feel the pain in my city wherever I go.
And there are villains. Heroes don't kill people.
Well, I do.
So basically, Deadpool.
Yeah.
You're not so now you haven't been hurt so much that you've went full fucking dark side. Now you're essentially ripped off of a Deadpool page. You're a good guy. You just, you're willing to kill though, if it comes down to it. Comedy. I don't like it.
Yeah,
don't like it. Right there. Look at that shit. Look, why is it so bright right now? Look at how much brightness they threw. You can tell this was a dark scene. And last minute, look at how bright it is. The clouds look fucking unnatural. This building right here to the right that you can clearly see, or the left, is clearly CGI. Because of that lighting, trying to brighten the scene up, look at how distorted this shit looks under this shit. And look at how fake that looks sitting over there. I don't like that.
And also like just with how the goon just cartoonishly got thrown into the air or punched into the air is just like, you can obviously tell that this shot right here is a reshoot.
That's some fucking Thor Ragnarok shit right there. The guy flying in the air screaming his name out, man. This is nonsense.
Let's keep going. It gets worse. And the music, random, like rap music nobody even fucking listens to. Reminds me of the fucking theatrical trailer for Suicide Squad.
And apparently this is a Kanye West song. From what I heard.
Old school Kanye was hard. New school Kanye fugazi as fuck. But point being though is that Why the choice of music? This is like what they did to Air's fucking theatrical cut. The original version had a serious score, a serious tone, dark filters. All of a sudden, we see shit being too bright in areas where it wasn't meant to be that bright. You see, all of a sudden now, a score that was in the first teaser is now replaced with random pop fucking icon music and shit. That's like, it's so run down, like it can't even be called rap because like nobody even fucking listens to that shit like that. Not the songs they're playing.
My vision has shown me the future. You have two choices.
Look at how bright it is behind him and in the fucking, look at how bright like the desert is.
That shit looks so trash too.
It looks like it's hitting his head in a way that it's making him look weird. It's making the suit look weird. Look at his shoulders. Like you can tell the CGI or like the touch-ups on the practical suit. There wasn't supposed to be light here, bro. You can tell. There ain't no. Look at that. Right here. Look at that shit. Okay, let's keep going.
Hey, fellas, I gotta go actually.
Yeah. All right, South Cali.
Yeah. I was gonna say it's a pleasure. Thank you for having me.
It was a pleasure. Thanks for joining us, brother.
Thank you. I was gonna say for sure. Have a good one, guys. The other thing is too, just before I go, make sure if you guys haven't, check out that Forbes article that basically countered everything that the Rolling Stone article did. That was actually,
nice.
I don't know if you've seen that or not yet.
We have
The
not
Forbes
seen
article. Okay, yeah, you got to check out that Forbes article. Yeah. All right, fellas. Thanks, man. Have a good one. Take care.
Yep.
Or you can be its savior.
Look you can just see that everything was brightened up, bro. And the areas that it's still dark, you can tell it looks dope. Like only in this lighting does the suit look like dope like this because, you know what I'm saying? But then you can still see they tried to brighten it from the side a little bit. And right here, where it's the exposure is not right, you can see the unfinished touch-ups on the suit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Up to you.
Right? This part right here. This is additional photography like a motherfucker, man.
Yeah.
Right here, look.
Behind you.
Oh, so now he's saving random fucking civilians and it's literally, that's a Scooby-Doo wagon. Look at this. Look at this. This is a real life Scooby-Doo wagon, bro.
That's literally the mystery machine. Like it has the
oh my god! Like how more on the nose can you be? Cloud table, man. Look at it's even got the rims and the color.
Right.
These motherfuckers, man. Come on, bro. And why are you all of a sudden you don't even know? So you're supposed to be this badass from the first trailer. You don't even know these clowns. You're sitting here stopping missiles from blowing them up, and you ain't even had a conversation with them yet, bro. What?
Right.
What? So now you're essentially anti-hero at best. I mean, at worst. Deadpool.
Yeah.
Fucking Deadpool.
By the way, we got some breaking news on Twitter right now. Some shit's going down on Twitter. I don't know what's going on.
Oh, what? Okay, let's go to Twitter. What's going on?
Yep. We've seen enough of this bullshit anyway. We've seen enough of that bullshit.
Okay, so what's going on?
All right, hold on, guys.
Clay Style, we all know Clay Style, right?
Yeah.
He posted a tweet saying it's coming, and it's a shadow of someone doing a Superman pose. And My Time to Shine just tweeted also with a gif of that dude from X-Men First Class in Wanted, where he's like fucking sweating and shit, and he's trying to fan himself.
Bro, what? Hold on.
Wait, let's see this.
I retweeted it on my Twitter. I retweeted that shit.
Okay, all right, we're gonna go to the truths. If I stop being retarded, I can learn how to fight.
So again, I don't know if something's gonna be announced at Comic-Con. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what we were gonna talk about.
I mean, something like I've been really speculating. Like something might.
He's my damn well a pretty boy swag. Okay.
I mean,
where'd you post it at, brother? Right here? Or hold on. Oh, okay.
It's on my Twitter.
Right here. Hold on. Oh, okay. What's going on here?
It's
coming.
everyone?
It's coming, man. Don't give me hype like this. I'm about to bring something.
Wait, share screen for everyone.
And I just want to reference this real quick. I ain't got time to dig through it and pull it up. Clay Stubb, about a month ago, posted this thing on there, right? Where some hater was going at him and he said, broke this shit down. He said, I never post anything that I can't. And I never say more than what I'm allowed to. But I also know Zach's fans are very passionate. And I would never mislead them. Hashtag restore the Snyderverse.
Don't play with me, bruh. Don't play with me.
That's what I'm saying. No. I guess my point. Hey, listen. I guess my point is. I guess my point is. If this motherfucker is playing right now, he's gonna cook himself. He's cooking himself, and I do not think Clay Stubb would do that, bro. But hey, if he does, he's playing himself. He's playing himself, and I'm telling you, I think this is this shit. Woo!
Wait, share the screen real quick. Share the screen real quick.
Oh, hold on. Oh, damn, I didn't know it wasn't sharing. Sorry, guys.
Like, yeah.
I'm over here looking at it by myself, grabbing the lotion and everything.
Okay, so wait, it's coming. So what's the image exactly?
I can't tell. It looks like, I don't know. I really don't know.
Wait, go to Clay Stubb's actual account real quick. Go to Clay Stubb's account real quick. Let's see the full thing.
Hold on.
Of course, everybody's in the comment section like, yo, what the...
Wait, hold on. So let's see here. It looks like we got some kind of building. Like, that's definitely a building. Wait, hold on. Oh, wait, hold up. I think I know what that is.
That looks like a leg and a foot.
No, I think I know what that is. Like,
what is it?
It might be a kind of like a shadow of kind of like Lady Justice. Like, you know that building?
Oh, you know what? That
yeah, like
it could be, but here's the thing: is like, unless that's like her leg, because her hand is holding the justice, the checks and balances type shit. You know what I mean?
Right.
I don't know. I don't know, man. It almost looks like to me. You know what it looks like to me? You know what it looks like to me? Looks like the witch bitch from the Air Cut.
I mean, like I said, we might get a surprise Air Cut announcement where kind of like how
don't play with me, man.
No, like I'm really serious about this. I kind of predicted this I put this idea out for Twitter where pretty much I'm telling you right now, if this happens word for word, then I'm pretty much a prophet. If we get David Ayer going on stage, like if we get David Ayer going on last minute on stage for the WB panel, and we have David Ayer saying, "Hey guys, I have one more thing to show you guys, and this is it." Then we get like a teaser of the Air Cut. Like if that happens, yo, if that happens,
bro, that'd be fucking
the internet is gonna explode.
Look at this motherfucker. He said, "Clay, don't mess with me. I'm not in the mood to be messed with right now. Don't mess with me, Clay." Man, and this is what I'm saying. Like I said, we could go back far enough. We could dig it up, but it's pointless because I remember it. And he flat out said that when he, because Clay Stubb until like what in the last month has been radio silence, right?
Yeah, and he said,
month and a half even, and not just Clay Stubb, everybody, right?
Yeah,
I'm telling you, he said, bro, he flat out said like he knows what he's doing, and so does Zach. And he would never betray Zach's fans like that. And he said he don't post nothing that he's not told is okay, and he don't post anything that's misleading, basically. So, and like I said, I mean, if he's fucking with us, man, I'm telling you.
You know what?
He's gonna get fucked up, man, on social media. But I'm telling you wholeheartedly, I don't think he's doing that, man. I think this shit is for real.
I mean, really think about it, because I do remember. I do remember back in April, Clay Self did tweet out saying pretty much, at a certain point, I'm gonna stop tweeting for a little bit.
Yeah. And he did, didn't he? He did for a what month and a half at least. This is the first thing I've seen from.
We've been starving, bro. It's like I'm
telling you right now, something going down on Saturday, man. Something going down on Saturday. I don't know what it is, but it's a strong feeling, and for some reason, like, I don't know how to explain it, but a lot of my feelings, whenever I have a feeling on something, that something usually happens.
Listen, like, there's a reason. You know what? And look at, and he's absolutely been told by Zack Snyder to do this. And Zach would not fuck with us like this. And I thought that, it could have been just, Zach is so busy, bro, filming over there for Netflix right now, Rebel Moon Part 2 and all that. He's got a little break in between starting Part 2. Maybe he's already into it. But my point is, he's got a very sly amount of fucking time on his hands, right? But think about this. Once Rebel Moon Part 2 is done, he will have time to start, if he is coming back, or if something's going to happen, right? He's got time to juggle that in between Planet of the Dead, for sure.
Yep.
But it's the Rebel Moon Part 2 that's the issue. But right now, he's either on a small break or he's finished Part 1 and he hasn't quite started Part 2 yet. Because he's filming it back to back to drop it on motherfuckers. So I guess my point is this a coincidence? At first I thought it's a coincidence, right? Zach come out because, SnyderCut On Digital, he wants to make sure he shows the fans, hey, I'm still here. I've been radio silence, but I still have your back. Fuck that article. Zach's here. Let's go. Let's get it. But then with this nigga, with Clay Stubb coming out and putting this, he's absolutely in contact with Zack Snyder right now. And he's putting, it's coming, man. Now, and I'm not.
I mean, there's something else that really is very interesting about this whole situation. Like, really, I really caught on to this once the digital announcement got released. Once it got announced, I mean. Like, I really found it really strange how coincidental the digital release of Zack Snyder's Justice League was coming out 2 days, as of right now, 2 days out of San Diego Comic-Con. Isn't that strange to anyone? Like, look, really, is
no, that is strange, Jeffrey.
Is this a new pick? Was that a new pick?
Oh, this is from 4 days ago. I didn't never see this one.
Was that a new David Ayer pick, real quick?
It's in what's that say?
Okay, that shit's way dark.
I know it is. I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
It's David being cryptic again. Anyway, I can't. Did he take down the post? Bro, he took down the post. Oh, no, there it is.
It's right there.
So what I'm saying is, prior to Clay Stubb, we got David Ayer. Okay? David Ayer, Snyderverse, Zach's boy, posting some shit that's from the Snyder Cut with that Snyder Cut filter on there. Now, today we have Zach coming out promoting this, which is one thing. Okay? One thing. But then, and in my mind, I'm like, okay, Zach's coming back because he's like, damn, I see my fans. They're having a hard time. These motherfuckers are back at their dirty little games again. But then Clay Stubb comes out the same day and posts it's coming? Nah, bro. Within days of each other? And like, I'm not trying to hype people up. Like, I mean this shit. Like, I'm really in this shit. Like, I'm a fan. I'm really happy because I truly believe this is coming. I don't know if there's an actual. So let's break down the end of the end of the stream. I know you guys have been on here for a minute, but like San Diego Comic-Con or fandom, if there's an announcement for the air cut, not a release, but an announcement for the release of the air cut and or the Snyderverse, when do you think which one will be which? Fandom, or I mean, Comic-Con or fandom? Comic-Con is really close to now, so
yeah.
With seeing this now, maybe
that's the thing.
I was betting on fandom, honestly.
I'm
just
seeing
this.
Fandom.
Huh?
I mean,
is there
a fandom? As of right now,
being announced.
As of right now, no
That's
DC.
Interesting.
Yeah, like as of right now, no DC fandom has been announced for as far as I can tell, too.
Wow.
So
man,
yeah.
that's crazy. Hold on, let's see if we can see. Let me go back to home real quick. Oh damn, it's not okay. Hold on. See, this is what it does all the time. See, I'm surprised that earlier it gave me. I'm trying to see the SnyderCut on digital.
Yeah.
You see how it's not there again? But I think we're at like 90,000 now.
They fucking hide that shit, bro.
No, they absolutely do, man. They absolutely do.
They shadow ban that shit.
Yeah. You know, it is what it is. But you know, this is crazy to me. And hold on, let me do this. There we go. So I got we got to jump into these comments real quick. I'm gonna blow this up.
Okay,
this is for Clay Stubb. Let me blow this up real quick for Clay Stubb. This is for Clay Stubb, man. Oh, yep. That's what he just did.
So first, Prime says to send him the link, and Prime also says there is no DC fandom this year. So yeah, that's what I was hearing too. That's what I mean. That's what I was just hearing from the Truth 31. Hold on real quick. I gotta send Prime. Hold on 1 second, brother. I'm gonna send you a link. Real quick. But yeah, that's crazy. That's crazy, man. Like, but
it's so basically it's now we're next year, right?
Yeah, now we're next year.
So basically, it's safe to say, well, I don't want to say that now or never, but it's now or next year, man. So, damn, that's crazy, man. That's crazy.
I feel like if the Snyderverse gets announced, I think Zach is gonna want to do it. I think he wants to like hold a special presentation done by him.
Yeah,
I mean, that's the thing, though. Like, we don't know what's gonna happen at DC Fandom because, at San Diego Comic-Con this year. Like, yeah, we do know about the whole Shazamverse stuff, but we really don't know anything else other than that. So it's like anything can happen last minute. Like I still remember that story about how about how BVS was announced. Like the person, like the actual spokesperson at San Diego Comic-Con that year, he really didn't know what was going to happen that year. So when he said when that BVS logo came up, that was actually very genuine. So we could get so I'm just saying we can get a repeat of that this year, but only time will tell.
All right. Hey, and I just want to give a shout out to Prime. What's going on, brother? Happy to have you on here.
Appreciate it. No problem, bro.
Hey, sorry, it took me a minute to get the link. We were screen sharing and shit. And on here, like, I'm cheap. I ain't got the paid version. So if I'm screen sharing, I can't see the comments. I can't see the comments when I'm screen sharing. But I seen that. I had to shoot you the link real quick. But go ahead, Prime. Let me know what you think. What you think about all this, brother?
Everything is all good. Like I say, the probability, the possibilities outweigh the probabilities. So, I mean, is everything possible that all this stuff can actually happen in time? Sure. But will it probably happen? It's 50-50. But I mean, everybody just got to wait for, for the Snyderverse to come back. I'm waiting in the background. That's why I really haven't been saying too much. I'm just waiting. I'm just waiting in the background. So, but pertaining to this article, I mean, I read the whole thing. A lot of people didn't read the whole article. It was a hit piece. A lot of people would say his opinion on how it is, but if you really wasn't in the movement, don't have the proper information, you haven't never gathered it, never heard interviews, got everything to put it all together, you're not going to know, what the writers, the critics, so forth, what they're trying to do, their agendas and all that. So the Forbes article was a little bit more logical. At least it made sense. So, the Forbes article made sense. But, the Rolling Stones, they just doing this for clicks because they need traffic. And they're doing a good job. The article did it. I mean, it did its job. I mean, everybody talking about it. You got all the people that are 50-50. You got the fans. You got the people that would say, well, we was right all the dang time. And knowing that is idiocy with it. So it is what it is. So
right.
It is what it is.
I always like hearing Prime, because he's always a little more realistic, down to earth, a little more objective to things. Talks more about like the business side of things, of like, regardless of whether it happens, have faith that it will happen. Maybe it won't happen as soon as you want. And what I'm saying, and I really like that. Me, sometimes I'm a little too close to this shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, I am a fan first, and I like to get geeked up about shit, about it.
Gotta remain optimistic.
Yeah, I mean, always got to remain optimistic, but I really like hearing, Prime's point of view on all this, and honestly, taking a step back, Clay Stubbs' post and all, it's still a 50-50 thing, you know what I'm saying? And if not this year, then the next year. Obviously, to a lot of people, myself included as a fan, first, that'd be a bummer, waiting another goddamn year.
Well, I mean, I don't be in the loop all like that, like I used to. I'm doing other stuff. I'm too busy doing that. So I really don't be into it as much. But I would say this to people that I like for everybody, just to think about it and look at this from this perspective. And I said it numerous years on, previous streams that I've done or on other people's podcasts. You have to look at it like this, okay? And I said it before. Zach is extremely, extremely busy. And all the actors, all the producers, all the screenplay people, the actors, the actresses, they're doing different gigs right now.
Yeah.
So with them doing different gigs right now, and what I mean by Zach is extremely busy. Rebel Moon is not done yet, and then he still got to do part 2. So I would say, if you want to give a targeting point on where this could possibly happen, if the Snyderverse does get reinstated, if it does, and that's why I say the possibilities outweigh the probabilities. Okay, it's possible, but will it probably happen? That's 50-50. All right. Only reason why I say that is that everybody is getting older. You got to think about that. They're getting older, and these are high-profile actors and actresses. They're not like when they first came in.
Oh yeah.
So they have to get paid. Zaslav is cutting budget. Now, I will give Zaslav his props. He's cutting budgets. He's getting rid of idiotic projects that were already instated. He's getting rid of stuff. He's not trying to put money into things where it's just going to waste money. But you have to look at it from that perspective. I know everybody wants the Snyderverse to come back, but I don't want people to get their feelings hurt if it does not happen, because you have to look at it from this perspective. It's going to be a long time. Because once Rebel Moon come out and he's going to do Rebel 2, that's going to be another 2 years.
Right.
Then you have to do negotiations. Then you have to get everybody together. That's going to be a lot of money. It's going to be a big budget. So it all depends on how they want to do it. Ben Affleck is much older.
This is what I wanted to say, Prime. So what I was hearing, and I could be incorrect, is that Zach is filming Rebel Moon Part 1 and 2 basically back to back. And then what I also heard was that he just wrapped filming Part 1, and he's got a slight, very, very, very slight. Of course, that wouldn't entitle him time, even if this was going to happen, to do it now. But what I'm saying is that he's got slight time, hence him being on social media right now. You know what I'm saying? To at least make an announcement that in a year and a half, when part 2 is done filming, at least that they can get the ball maybe rolling, and that's my general outlook. I don't know them to be the actual factuals, you know what I'm saying? But that's what I have heard, you know what I'm saying? And that's what I'm hoping for, personally.
If that's the case, that he's filming both parts at the same time, he's already done with that, then that sounds a little bit more, that will put a lot of bit more in an optimistic perspective for me. Because you're getting both done at the same time and you're getting it out the way. It'll be a different story if you just did one, you released it, and then you have to go back and film and got to do the second one. If he's doing both at the same time and he's getting it out the way, let's just say it's 22. Rebel Moon comes out next year, right?
Right.
2020, next year.
Yeah, 2022, yeah.
Next year? Is it the end of next year, or is it in the middle or the beginning?
I believe it's the middle, the late middle of next year. Middle, I want to say part 1. So this is what, like I said, and don't quote me, but from what I currently understand, it's like part 1 of he's gonna. So check this. So when basically late summer next year, right, comes around,
right,
part 1 is going to be dropped on our heads, Rebel Moon. Now, at that point, when late summer comes, right, even though part 1's dropping, part 2 is fucking done at that point, right? I mean, they're doing a little bit of touch-up, some effects, whatever, yada, yada. But essentially, at the end of summer of 2023, he's done with that completely, and it's just a matter of dropping it the following summer to do the follow-up of part 2. But as a creative during that time, physically, he's free.
Right. That's what I'm saying. Now, you forgot to do this too. All we can do is right now is speculation. We're speculation, but we know what projects that he's doing right now. You forgot about the Armyverse, because they're still got to do that prequel. That's the animated. I don't know if Zach is directing that. I know he's part of it, but I don't know if he's directing it.
I do know this. I do know that Jay Oliva and Zach are credited to be doing 2 episodes each. So, yeah.
Okay.
And Jay Oliva actually did give someone a update on Las Vegas, the animated prequel. He basically this guy asking, hey, what's taking so long with the animated prequel? And Jay Oliva actually replied saying, and this is the actual quote, animation takes a long time to animate.
Yeah.
Yes, I would have said the same thing. I would have said the same thing. I mean, it's basically logic. Animation takes a while. So even with that, you got all the properties and he's still with Netflix and all that. So people have to take that into consideration. Now, I will say, and this is just the date that I'm sticking with, and I would say, if anything happens, if anything comes into fruition, they can announce it prior. But I would say this, before anything to happen, and let's just say it does, I would say the latest will be the end of 25, early 26.
Okay.
The only reason why I say that, you have to look at it from this perspective. It's not just Zach. Everybody is willing to come back for Zach. They got other IPs and they got other projects they're doing as well. You got to remember, Henry Cavill got more stuff. Gal Gadot got more stuff. Ben Affleck just got married to J-Lo. He's about to do some more stuff. Ezra Miller with this Flash stuff is going out. We don't even know how that's going to pan out.
Right.
There's a lot of stuff with the actors and actresses. And some of those other actors, so we don't know. Right. So at the same time, and for all them to be, hold on, my last part, and for all them to be free at the same time, whoo, that's gonna be, yeah.
I mean, but Prime,
hold on, real quick, Jeffrey. Let me say this real quick. So now again, this is me as just as a fan, heavy speculation, right? And it's a big maybe, right? So the way I'm the way I'm thinking, obviously super optimistic, at best, right? So remember last year though, Thanksgiving last year, right? Remember the turkey, right? And the justice and the JL.
I know what you're getting at. I know what you're getting at.
So here's my thing, right? So what if, and again, I know that this is a straw man argument at best, but what if Zaslav came to him as early as right before he officially came into power and flat out told him, and that's why he put thankful, that, hey, let me see what your plan is. What are you trying to do? And he's like, hey, look. And he's like, bet, let's do this. As soon as I get in, it won't be right now, won't be, maybe next year. But here's the time slot. And for the last year and a half, on the down low, it's been, hey, get these actors schedule free for, not instead of 4 years from now, a year and a half from now, to maybe start doing something, at best.
But like to start filming?
I get you.
To start filming. Yeah. To start filming. An announcement, though, could come now, and a year from now, we could start seeing actual, I mean, I don't, like I said, I'm talking pure speculation as a fan, you know what I'm saying? And I'm not saying it's impossible or improbable, but it's something there that could be argued to a degree, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, because this is really the thing for me. Like, I'm trying to look at this as, I'm trying to look at this from a timeline perspective with what Prime has given us. Like, it could be 2025 that these things get done, or it could be sooner. Like I said, we don't know. But that's really the thing about the year cut. Like let's say hypothetically,
good thing you brought that up.
Let's say the year cut gets announced at DC at I keep thinking DC fandom. Sorry, but let's say that the year cut gets announced, that the Snyderverse and the year cut get announced at, let's say that the year cut gets announced at San Diego Comic-Con this year. Then, and let's say hypothetically that the release date that they give it is November, because, and the reason why I say November for the release date, or at least the release month, is because the RT Aircut account has been teasing something happening at November. So as far as we know, that could possibly be. So as far as I know, that could possibly be the release month. So that gives everyone some time. That gives everyone some time, and for contracts to really expire and all that type of stuff. So then that gives everyone some free reign. You have Rebel Moon post-production being worked on, and all of the other contracts of the actors being done, and that sort of thing. So like for me, I guess really what I'm saying is I think the Air Cut will possibly be announced at San Diego Comic-Con, and then the release month being November, so that all of these contracts and stuff will be expired until then, while also doing post-production. And then for Rebel Moon, there's just post-production needs to be done for part 2. So
right,
yeah,
and again, truth, and again, to Truth and Prime, again, like me and Jeffrey, we're fans first, you know what I'm saying, and obviously this is super duper best case scenario. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Doesn't mean that it couldn't, that it's not possible. It doesn't mean it's not possible, but at the same time, I like hearing, the actual factuals and, from Prime, like, cause, if that's not the case, Thanksgiving of 2021, was nothing, which would be very strange for Zack Snyder. Doesn't mean it's impossible. It could just be like, I'm thankful, period. Like, hey, we got this out here. The way that he framed it and everything that was in it, we all know what it is, all I'm saying is that if that literally is not what we all take it for, then I hope that Prime is wrong. Like, no offense, as a fan.
Oh no, I want to be wrong, but I'm looking at it. I want to be wrong. Don't get me wrong. I'm not trying to be right. I'm just looking at it from that. No, finish your point. Finish your point. And
if that, but I absolutely agree with you though. You know what I'm saying? If that ain't what it is, or maybe we have done this before. We've interpreted it because that's the point of them. They are they're cryptic. And not everybody's going to decipher the shit right. And if it's not what we all took it for as fans, then best case scenario, like I said, I got to bounce, to basically to what Prime is saying, which is, unfortunate as a fan, but also at the same time, it's still beautiful because it's like, at least we're getting it, if that, you know what I'm saying? So
yeah,
we're getting
I can see both sides. I can see both sides, for real.
I will piggyback off of what Jeff said. I know Truth want to say something, but the haircut is the key.
Yep.
Because that is the key. That has to come out.
Man, I've been waiting for that so long.
That has to come. We know it's coming. We just, to me, honestly, it needs to come out this year. It needs to. They cannot hold that. If it doesn't come out this year, it ain't gonna hit
the same if it don't come out. Even if it do come out, if like Prime saying, if it don't come out at some point though, within this year, it ain't gonna hit the same. Like, it's not.
I agree, but then at the same time, is that okay? Let's put it like this. I just want to do it short, okay?
Okay.
All right.
Let's just say hypothetically, because Zaslav is about money,
right?
And he knows that he's not going to waste money. And at this particular time and moment right now, let's go with what's today? Today, all right. The digital copy was released for Justice League. Now, when the numbers come back, once they get all the analytics and they get all the figures and they get all that, this is what Zaslav is doing. This ain't got nothing to do with nothing else. And this is why I'm sick and tired of people saying, well, why didn't they do it? Look, it was when Toby Emmerich and his staff were still in power, doing whatever it is that they was doing. That was their call. That was their call. Okay? That was their call. All right. So now it's about analytics. It's about to get the concrete evidence and put that stuff out. All right. Once he gets all the numbers and see how much people want this, the stuff is already out there. You can't act like that he ain't seen it and he don't know what's out there. We know he's seen it. We know that he out there. He is not your typical executive. All right. People don't understand about executives. Okay.
But that's a good thing, Prime, because that means he's not. That means he's not. What's the word for it? Very. What do you call it? You know what I'm saying? Like he. Basically, like what was the word?
I know what you're trying to say. I'm trying to think of the word too. He's not in. He's in tune. He's in tune with the customer.
Reactionary.
Reactionary.
He's not super reactionary, and this is the problem that we had with the last regime. They wasn't busy enough counting them dollars they was getting. They took that shit for granted because they were amateurs. You know what I'm saying?
No, they weren't amateurs. They weren't amateurs. They were vets. You gotta look at. They weren't looking at the money. They were more worried about critical reviews. You got to remember
reviews. Yes,
they were more in a critical reaction.
And that caused them to be reaction. Yeah, and that's what caused them to be a reactionary at the time studio. And Zaslav don't roll like that. He's about and he's not on one side or the other. He's about that money. And so basically a lot of people I know that they're worn out from all we've done trying to show the old regime, but we've got to do it all over again. And this time it'll be worth it because it's from unbiased eyes. And basically we can prove the analytics is there. It's money to be made, flat out, he'll do it eventually when he, but go ahead.
No, and on top of that, what you're saying is that even with the money, people have to understand executives. Okay, executives are not when they go to college and they do all their stuff. I did a perfect example of this in explaining what executives are. I work for EA Sports, people. I see this dumb shit. They are not in tune with the audience. They don't give a fuck about you. They don't give a fuck about the fans. They don't give a fuck about their audience. All they care about is how they're going to appease those shareholders, those investors. They don't give a fuck. All right. You could tell them a project full in your face. They don't care. All they know is that what they were taught when they was in school. That's it. They are not in tune with the audience. For example, let me give y'all an example. The executives at Warner Brothers has had the DC property for decades. You're trying to tell me that you can't put out movies and particular shows and you own the rights to all the characters. It's not that the characters are separated and they got at different companies. No, Warner Brothers got all of DC. Okay? Right. They own everything. So people, you need to look at it like that. They could have been put stuff out. They just choose not to. They always rehash everything. Okay? Now we have a new regime where they're going to have to utilize DC. Because right now, even though Warner Brothers catalog for their IPs is astounding, they have a huge catalog with their movies. It's great. Even with New Line Cinema, it's fantastic. But you got a gold mine with DC. Zaslav is going to utilize this. He has a gold mine. Okay? Gold mine. He knows that.
But go ahead, Jeffrey.
And the thing is, for me, that's really the thing, Prime. For me, this is the really big type of thing. I think, you can say what you want about what executives think about stories and stuff, but the thing is, but the thing is, for me, I think David is also trying to think 3 steps ahead. Really think about this from a business perspective as well. People all it's a whole business plan concept. This is the whole business plan concept that I'm gonna go on. So I'm gonna use Batgirl for an example, because there was a article that came out where the directors themselves said that they straight up didn't know that it was a multiverse, that Batgirl was a multiverse movie. I don't know if you've seen the article, but it was from Direct.
Nah, I didn't read it. I didn't care.
It was but here's the thing. Let me finish. You have the directors themselves saying that we have the Snyderverse. And this is a full-on quote. They said this in full, that they have the Snyderverse, J.K. Simmons. They have the Burtonverse Batman, and they have Batgirl. And they said that they don't really explain what's going on in that movie, and that's really the problem right there. They don't know what's going on. If the directors don't know what's going on ahead, then that's a problem. But when you talk to Zach, he already confirmed that he has new storyboards just in case he's able to come back to DC. So what I'm saying is, if you have someone who already has a consistent business plan, then that means you can advertise that business plan in detail, not just say, oh, we have a plan and that's it. You can explain your business, you can explain your plan to the public, and then that gets people excited 3, 4, 5 steps ahead. so that they'll keep coming back for more and more. And don't say that doesn't make any sense, because the MCU has been doing that for decades, for a decade now. So
probably,
yeah,
it makes sense. I do believe that Zack Snyder and David Zaslav had conversations like, okay, what's your outline? What's your plan? How can we make this happen? Do I think the Snyderverse is going to get announced at Comic-Con? I don't think so. I think more realistically, what I can see happening is the Ayer cut getting announced. So like finally for David Ayer to finally get justice for his cut.
Oh, I hope so, man.
Yeah, that would be dope. Like at the very least, maybe in late October, late November, I could see some rumblings about the Snyderverse, because by that time, Zack Snyder will probably be done with the first film and, finishing up touches on the second Rebel Moon. What would be awesome? What they could do is just, everybody's at Comic-Con, the lights go down, Zack Snyder comes on stage, and all you need to see is just the Snyderverse continues coming soon. That would be fucking amazing. Of course, that would amp up everybody. Like, oh shit, because it doesn't give you an official release date. It just tells you, hey, we're working on this. Don't worry, it's coming soon. I think that alone will, I think, like get all the Snyderverse fans, especially, get excited. It's like, oh shit, oh, it's happening. But I don't see that happening right now, though.
If that, put it like this, and I like your outlook. I wouldn't be worried about the fans. I would be worried about the naysayers, because them fools will lay an egg, and that would be exciting for itself. Just for the simple fact, because they don't want it. That's the thing. So it's you have to. I look at it from that perspective. And I do want it all. But like you said, the announcement of the Snyderverse is not going to be at San Diego Comic-Con. I would say it's more. I say it's more probable for the Ayer cut to be announced at San Diego Comic-Con. They need to announce that, and they need to give us a release date for it. It's been long enough. They need to release it. It's time. They got to get something started to get get stuff hyped up. That is just my outlook. I think a lot of people is ready for it. It's been out there. I mean, it's enough now. Now it'll be great. Just my opinion. It'll be great, even though David Ayer hasn't said it. But it'll be great if they allow him to do additional photography to allow him to, insert that Steppenwolf scene. Reason why I say that is because the Steppenwolf design is already done. All Zach gotta do is just give him a whatever, and he can insert it into the film. It's all CGI. He can insert it. It's already filmed. He can insert it. So I mean,
and to piggyback off of that, and what would be great about that, of course, pure speculation, and in my opinion and all that, but like the original, you remember Prime, the scripts that leaked, right?
Yeah.
The last major Ayer cut, training event where it was serious though, and all the original scripts for the movie that he's got were leaked, right?
Yeah, he Go ahead. No, because I know he had five. I know he had 5 versions. I know he had 5 versions. Yeah.
Right. Yeah. Exactly. So grain of salt, because again, multiple versions. But what we got in one of the scripts, and me and Jeffrey went over it extensively, speculating and happy and all that shit when it first dropped. There was a script, right? And again, depends on, was it filmed? They claim it was, but again, what version? Yada yada yada. Diablo's talking to Captain Boomerang, and he says, basically, there's a fucking boom tube going down. That bullshit that was like a yuck CGI mess in the sky was what Darkseid was referencing in the Snyder cut as the old ways, aka the Armada. But this was due to the fact that it was being accessed by magic, not truly by the old ways, but it was the Armada. But of course, it's supposed to be a glorified cameo in one version. The original version was changed, obviously, because the storyboards to Zack Snyder's Justice League before the meddling happened. Steppenwolf in the main Mother Box storyline was going to take place in Justice League. So that can't happen, even if people want it to. If David wanted it to, it don't matter, right? But the version right after that, okay, was supposed to be, mother boxes removed, possibly maybe one that was unknown, created by Magic or not created by Magic. This is, based on speculation, based on the scripts that were leaked, right? Okay. And mainly Mother Box plotline, though, removed. And Steppenwolf, originally after the first draft, after the storyboards, quote unquote, evolved, is basically, still boom tubes for the period. A boom tube, one boom tube, and multiple, parademons, which you can see CGI work in the original 2015 Comic-Con teaser trailer done. You buy the Blu-ray to the original Suicide Squad, the extended cut, and in the bonus features, it shows what they dubbed the go-go dancers without the special effects that were in the trailer, and it looks like people in all black with white shit hanging from them like cloth, and their eyes are glowing with horns, right? So we know that regardless of what version we get, that overall, after the storyboards, quote unquote, evolved, what we will get roughly will be at a minimum, parademons, and at the very end, one boom tube opening, just enough to show a glorified, like in BVS Ultimate Edition only, cameo of Steppenwolf, and maybe he says one line this time, or maybe he doesn't. But basically, they close it, and they're triumphant in the third act. Joker's there, they fucking win. Okay, now in the script, my point is I skipped over the part. In the script, there is a part that was filmed, though, according to David Ayer, because a fan, I can't find it right this minute, but a fan quoted this after these scripts were leaked. And he basically confirmed, he didn't confirm if it was going to show Steppenwolf, but the line was, and he said this was filmed. So Boomerang asked Will Smith,
El Diablo.
What do you think she's doing? He said, and El Diablo responds, he said, she's trying to open a gateway to another world, one to hell, and rain down the devil upon us, or some shit like that. Yeah. So in my mind, him saying that was filmed, of course, with multiple versions, you on film, paper and film is two different things. That could go different ways. It could be, a glorified, badass, better appearance of fucking her brother. What's his name?
The brother wasn't even in the script originally.
Right, exactly.
He wasn't even in the script.
What I'm saying is, what if in his real version, the original version, that we still probably maybe won't even get if it's released, because the plan was, Step was in the third act, Joker coming back from the dead, by magic, maybe or maybe not Incubus. Her, all that shit in the sky was her using magic to tap into something that only Darkseid can do from his end. But mind you, this is without Darkseid even knowing about this planet yet. So Darkseid, it's not on his fucking radar. But what it does do is it's the second time that Steppenwolf is there, but this time we get a better look at him, and maybe he says one word, you know what I'm saying? And he don't get to step over the portal, and it gets closed, and then in Justice League, you know what I'm saying? When he comes, he's like, all right, let's get it.
That's why I say Suicide Squad is the movie that actually opens up the DCEU,
right?
Because that's the movie that brings out a lot of stuff. There's a lot of stuff in that. There's a lot of stuff in that movie.
Right, and Prime. Like, I also still remember this where David Ayer actually did say, and I still remember this, and I still remember it word for word to this time, to this day, where David Ayer said that his Suicide Squad is an appetizer for Zack Snyder's Justice League. So really, I remember that. So really, what that tells me is, and I also remember seeing this image. I can't really show you it right now, but I remember this image of the Suicide Squad looking Katana, Boomerang. I remember seeing Katana, Boomerang, and no, it was Rick Flag, who Deadshot, and it was Rick Flag, Deadshot, and Captain Boomerang looking in shock and looking up at something in shock and awe, like they're like, what is that sort of way? Like, so that might be so to me that's either two things. That's either one, that's 10-foot enchantress that's growing, or two, that is a possible Steppenwolf about to attempt to step through the boom tube.
Steppenwolf would be dope.
Yeah, and like I said, and look at and again, even if this speculation is off, and this is all what it was going to be before David quote unquote said that the Justice League, arcs evolved, it wouldn't be shit now that it's been this long, for him and Zach to talk, because the beginning of the movie, at least even in the theatrical bastardized cut, you can see that it's very much taking place directly after BVS Ultimate Edition, right?
Of course.
So of course it's gonna end leading into Justice League, even if it's not like a direct way like we want it to be. But think about this. You think about the height of Steppenwolf, right? Think about El Diablo's ultimate form. And on top of that, us knowing for a fact in the air cut, he does not die. So what does that scream? That they won, so therefore he did not die. And of course, if Steppenwolf would have come through that goddamn portal, it would have been a different story. It'd have been a different story. But the point is, though, is seeing that they had to step to each other. And maybe it was, El Diablo that used his fucking fire powers, you know what I'm saying? That somehow stopped that boom, the Armada from happening, and it was a glorified cameo. And that's the way that David Ayer originally rewrote it and initially shot the film after the initial, quote unquote Justice League arcs evolved, because you see evidence of this even in the book for the Suicide Squad. You see shit that's not in the film. You see shit that makes way more sense, and even though there's some shit still removed, because it's not the Ayer cut, and I don't think for a minute when David was the only one at the time and even currently that was on board, like, yeah, brother, how you want this universe? Like, let's do this. Like, they teamed up and really, like, Zach came over, was kicking it, had Ezra Miller shot the scene, all that shit. They were trying to build up like some, at that point in time, 2014, 15, 16, trying to do their equivalent of a seriously and down-to-earth, like, connected universe. And when that backlash to BVS from the naysayers happened, they seen what David had, whatever it was, and they're like, oh, hell no, so it was reshot, which was the Ayer cut theatrical, and we didn't even get that, because then they gave it to the Trailer Park team, and it was hacked even further into fucking pieces. So, I mean, again, it's all speculation, but I really think there's something there, something to that.
Well, that part, not speculation on the part what happened to the actual movie. That ain't speculation. That actually happened. That was Berg and Johns, and they did all that shit. But
you're absolutely right.
But they did all that. But other than that, only time. I mean, time is going to tell in these coming months. Hopefully, and I really mean hopefully, that something get announced at San Diego Comic-Con. I ain't biting my tongue. I'm not getting excited for nothing.
Exactly.
If it gets announced, it gets announced. If it does, great, fantastic. We're gonna talk about it.
Right. And realistically, my hope is just that the Ayer cut will be announced, not released at Comic-Con.
Comic-Con.
Announced. Ayer cut only. Announced at Comic-Con. And then at the end of the year or beginning of the following year, 2023, at some point, simply an announcement with no date regarding the Snyderverse.
Hey, if it again, all the stuff can actually happen. We just hope. The only thing that I do know from DC that is going to be concrete, that's going to be there, is going to be the Green Lantern movie, which, you know,
I mean,
they're going to show that. Yeah, you're going to watch the whole thing. I've already watched it. If y'all haven't watched it, y'all can watch it. If y'all want to watch it, I will give y'all the link to watch it. But yeah, you say what?
Did you enjoy it?
Yeah, I put my review up. I gave it a 6.5 out of 10.
Okay.
I put my review up on it. I would just say this is that a lot of, how can I put it? I see what they're trying to do with with the animation and the new regime that they're trying to do. And do I care for it? Yes and no. Do I see what they did? Did I see what they did? I'll put it to you like this. Y'all have to watch it. It's entertaining. It's good. But at the same time, I'll let y'all know this. It's shit. I'll tell you. They got people in the Justice League in it. So, of course. But you're going to see Vixen. You're going to see Manhunter. You're going to see Green Arrow. Right. And you're going to have John Stewart. Hal Jordan is in it. But I like the twist of it. Of course, they have I can't think of that damn man's name. Of course, they got Thanagarians in it. Okay. What else? So you will actually see the twist in the story. A lot of people didn't like it. A lot of people liked it. It's divided. So it all depends on it all depends on how you follow Green Lantern and your outlook of what you're going to do. Is basically, I'll put it to you like this. I'll just give y'all a bone. They're introducing John Stewart and then trying to push something else out. That's all I'm going to give you. You got to watch it. You're right. Yeah. That's what.
All right. I hear what you're saying now.
Yeah. They kept elements of the Green Lantern ore intact. And that's, but I'll just tell you, this is what people didn't like. They kept things intact because Sinestro is already a Yellow Lantern. But you're introducing John Stewart. So they kept elements of what's already that's supposed to be with John Stewart, Hal Jordan, and everybody are already lanterns. And they're putting it in that. So they took that, put that in, but they're introducing John Stewart and pushing somebody out.
See.
So that's the thing. So that's the thing.
It's a mixed bag then. Yeah.
It's a mixed bag. And I will say, I can't think of the writer's name that was on with Green Lantern, and he was doing it. He was pissed off. It's a video that's up on YouTube, and he was talking about it. And he was like, he didn't agree with it. It's like there's elements that were good, but the way that y'all went about it to do this with John Stewart, ain't a lot of people that like Green Lantern that gonna like. That's my only gripe that I got. The story is cool, but the only gripe that I got is that you put stuff that's already in the lore of the Lantern Corps. You already got that with everybody intact, but you're keeping that, but you're trying to introduce John Stewart as a new Lantern. That's what I'm saying. So, but you have to watch it. So when you watch it, you're going to see the reason why a lot of people are 50-50 with it, and why they say, I don't like it. Is that there's some cheese with it, but there's some good elements with it too. Like I said, the good elements, like I said, is that they have the elements of stuff that's already in lore with the core. Okay, but the simple, y'all gotta watch it for yourself. I can give everybody the link. I'll put it on Twitter so y'all can actually watch it. Okay. And if y'all watch it for yourself, y'all ain't gotta wait for DC Fandom for it to come out. It's already out there. That's why everybody been watching it. I got it. So I didn't give the link to y'all to watch it. Yeah, y'all gonna watch it. Y'all ain't gotta wait for Fandom to watch it. That's what they're waiting for, so everybody can watch it at Fandom. You ain't gotta wait for it. It's already out. So.
All right, well, guys, we had over 2 hour mark, and I got a family member sliding through here. So, any last remarks before we end the live stream, man? I think we had a good ass live stream. I appreciate all you guys that came through. Truth, Prime, my dogs. I appreciate y'all coming through. Is there anything y'all would like to end with before we end the live stream?
Yeah,
No,
release
man,
the
just
haircut
be.
already. Release the
Yeah,
haircut.
Release the haircut, nigga.
I just,
keep the
I
fight
just tell
strong.
people. Right, I just tell people reels before feels. That's it.
Okay.
Reels
All right.
before feels. Be a little bit, think a little bit more logical. Don't let your feelings take over your logic on certain things, and that's all. Reels before feels.
All right. Truth, what you got anything, Truth?
No, just hopefully they release the haircut at Comic-Con. That would be nice. Hopefully they bring Henry Cavill into the Black Adam panel. That would be a nice surprise, but they ain't gonna do that because one of us is fucking retarded. So I won't hold my breath on that one. But, yeah, it should be interesting.
Yeah, definitely, man. Jeffrey, what you got, brother?
Yeah, just really just have a strong feeling that really just with everything that's been going on through April and following the breadcrumbs, I just feel like something big is going down at San Diego Comic-Con, something bigger than we think. But like I said, that's really just the speculation side of things. But really, let's just see what happens, and really, yeah, just keep on trucking along.
Right, and on my part, as per usual, hashtag restore the Snyderverse and release the goddamn haircut. and thank you guys for coming on. Yeah, I really do appreciate y'all. And till next time, y'all.
All right, y'all. Peace.
Peace.
I wonder if my habits will kill me. I don't know why, but I get that feeling when I walk into the building. There's this feeling, chilling. Stop it, stop it, stop it. I've had enough. 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 Oh, I don't got the same lungs that could stand the cold. I got monsters in my basement. Stop it, stop it, stop it. I've had enough. I've had enough. I've had enough. I've had enough. I've had enough.